So today we're going to be estimating again, but this time instead of estimating sums, we're going to estimate differences. What does that mean? What operation are we going to do if I say we're finding the difference? Charlotte?
It means subtracting.
Exactly, finding the difference, subtracting. So we're still going to be doing our rounding to the nearest 10 and 100 to estimate, and then we will subtract instead of add. Wahoo. So let me bring up your thingy. That's it. Ew. There it is. And here's Selena. Sil says she's joining. Her internet must not be great. There she is. Hey, Selena. All right. So hopefully Savannah will jump on here in a bit. So we were just saying today's lesson is estimating differences. So we're going to be doing our rounding to the nearest 10 and 100. So we're going to be practicing some rounding, and instead of finding the sum, we're going to find the difference. Do you know what that means to find the difference? What operation are we doing? We're not adding, we're subtracting with differences. So here we go. Estimate differences. Everybody can see my screen, yes? All right. So following along with me, at the top it says, sometimes you want to find an estimate instead of an exact answer. You can estimate differences to the nearest 100 or nearest 10. Example 1. China has more than 3,728 miles of high-speed train tracks. Japan has more than 1,518 miles of high-speed tracks. About how many more miles of high-speed tracks does China have? So there was that magic about how many. In this case, oh, I want my pen. In this case, it says about how many more. That how many more tells us we are going to subtract. Because if I say Charlotte has 7 apples, Athena has 4 apples, how many more apples does Charlotte have? Charlotte has...
You mean 9 apples.
Oh, right. Charlotte has 9 apples. And Athena has 8 apples. How many more apples does Charlotte have? 1 more apple, right? So we subtract. So round each number in 3,728 minus 1,518, and then find the estimated difference. So we're rounding to the nearest 100. So they've already shown us that the 3 in the 1,000 stays the same, and we have 0 10s and 0 1s because it's rounding to the nearest 100. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. But we have a 7 in the hundreds place and a 2 in the tens place. That 2 will tell us if we leave it alone, we stay on the floor we're on, or we round up. So what do we do if for this? 3,728 would round to what? Athena?
$3,700.
Exactly, 3,700. And 1,518 will round to what? So we have 5 in the hundreds place, and we look at our tens place to tell us what we're doing, and we have a 1 there. So Selena, are we gonna stay on the 500th floor, or are we gonna round up? We have a 1 in the tens place. 1 through 4, we stay on the floor, we leave it alone. That was another, somebody had that. 1 through 4, leave it alone. 5 through 9. Climb up. So it'll be what, Charlotte?
1 through 4, stay on the floor.
So 1,000.
1,500.
Yes, 1,500. Now round to the nearest 10. So here we have a 2 in the tens place and an 8 in the ones place. That 8 is going to tell us if we stay on the floor we're on or round up. What is it, Charlotte?
Round up to 30.
Yes. 3,730. And 1,000, we have a 1 in the tens place and an 8 again in the ones place. So that will round to what? Charlotte?
20.
20. All right, so we got our rounding done. Now we can subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 500 is 200. Oops. And 3,000 minus 1,000 is 2,000. Thank you, Selena. And now let's subtract our rounding to the nearest 10. We have 0 minus 0 is 0. 3 tens minus 2 tens is 110. 700s minus 500s is 200. And 3,000 minus 1,000 is 2,000. So pretty close to the same answer. Here it's 2,200, here it's 2,210. So to the nearest 10, there are about 2,200 more miles of track in China. And rounded to the nearest 10, there are about 2,210 more miles of track. So each estimate is reasonable. There can be more than one reasonable estimate when solving a problem. So it can be reasonable if we round to the nearest 10 or 100. You are not always told to which place to round a number. You can round to the greatest place value in that case. So a museum has 237 works of art on its first floor. The second floor has 349 works of art. About how many more works of art are found on the second floor? So 349 minus 237, the greatest place value position of 349 and 237 is the what place? Charlotte?
Hundreds place.
Hundreds place. So we can round. They already did it for us. 349, they saw that there was a 4 in the tens place, so that rounds to 300. And there's a 3 in the tens place for 237, so that rounds to 200, and we can subtract mentally. 300 minus 200 is 100. So there are about 100 more paintings on the second floor. All right, it says estimate. 488 minus 351. Round each number to the tens place. So here they told us we're rounding to the tens place. So we can do like how that last one did. We know that for 488, we'll have 4 in the hundreds place, and we'll have 0 in the ones place. And for 351, we'll have 3 in the hundreds place and 0 in the ones place. And so for 488, rounded to the nearest 10, what's going to go in the tens place? Is it closer to 480 or 490? Selena, you got any ideas? If we round 488 to the nearest 10, what would that be? Anybody? Charlotte?
400, did you say 488?
Yeah, so we're rounding 488 to the nearest 10.
To the nearest, then it would be 488. So it'll be 480.
Savannah said, which lesson is it?
Here, is she waiting in the waiting room?
She said, are you waiting in the waiting room?
She needs to get on our Zoom link. That's where all the lessons are, is on our Zoom link. Ask her why she needs to know this every single day. My God. On the Zoom link.
The same Zoom link every day.
Athena?
490.
490. Because we look at that 8 in the ones place and we know if we have an 8, we're going to round up to the next 10. Okay. So 488 rounds to 490. 351 is going to round to what? We have a 1 in the ones place. So are we going to stay on the floor we're on or round up? Athena?
360.
We have a 1 in the ones place. 1 through 4, stay on the floor. So we're going to stay on the 5th floor.
350.
350. And now we can subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0.
She said she in the waiting room.
All right. There she is. Hey, Savannah. So you might have to watch the beginning of this lesson a little later. We're doing estimating differences. So we're rounding again and we're subtracting this time instead of adding. So Savannah and Selena are going to keep practicing rounding. I'm going to reassign rounding to the nearest 100 for you two, okay? All right. So we were just doing this problem. Now we're subtracting. 9 minus 5 is 4. And 400 minus 300 is 100. Estimate 542 minus 225. Round each number to the greatest place value. What is the greatest place value for 542 and 225? Savannah, what's the greatest place value? You are sleeping. Savannah, if you're just going to nap, you can go ahead and leave and watch this later. Seriously, Savannah. What's the greatest place value, guys? Charlotte?
The greatest place value is the hundreds.
Yes, the hundreds place. So we're going to be rounding to the nearest hundred. So I can already put my zeros here because I know I'll have, if I'm rounding to the nearest 100, I have a 0 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. So 542 will round to what? Charlotte?
542 We'll round to 500.
Yes. Because we had a 4 in the tens place, and we know 1 through 4, we're going to stay on the floor we're on, which is the 500th floor. 225 will round to what? Charlotte?
200.
200. So 500 minus 200 is 300. So far, it's not making us do any regrouping. I'm almost tempted to give this to you as your homework as well, because it looks like a lot of us need to practice rounding. Not you, Charlotte. I'll give you the shorter. And you, Athena. But you, Selena, you have not been practicing. That's the whole point of the work, is to practice and to get it. If you're not doing it, you're not going to get it. And I'm going to get it.
I said I forgot it.
All right, 986 minus 664 rounded to the tens place. It'll tell you on these what we're rounding to. So 986 is going to round to what if it's rounded to the nearest 10?
Stay on the floor.
Charlotte?
90.
990. 664 rounded to the nearest 10 will be Athena?
670.
You got a 4 in the ones place.
So 660.
Yes. So 990 minus 660 is a fun number. What is it, Charlotte? Athena?
330.
Yeah, that's fun. All right, 550 minus 244 rounded to the nearest tens. Well, guess what? 550, it's already a 10, so we don't have to do anything to it. We can keep it 550. That's easy enough. But what about 244? Charlotte?
240.
240, which 550 minus 240 will equal Charlotte?
310.
Yes. Excellent. Down here, when it says round each number to the nearest 10 and nearest 100, so you'll rewrite the problem. Rounded to the nearest 10, it would be 630 minus 310. Which equals 320. Rounded to the nearest 100 would be 600 minus what, Athena?
$310.
300, rounded to the nearest 100. 600 minus 300 is 300. All right, so I think I will give you the rest of the sheet along with your 2 other ones. Yes. Yes. You can do it. You can do it. So let me see if I can add that.
Savannah said let her back in.
In a minute. Actually, I don't think it'll let me. Well, I'll rescan it. Charlotte. Since yesterday was your birthday and you got this down, you will still have to do it. Fine. You have a box like that already in here, so I won't make you redo it. You have enough. But please make sure you do these 4 problems. It tells you up here what to round to. Down here, you're going to rewrite it like I did on this page. All right. All right. And then you've got 3-ish word problems. This isn't really a word problem. 2 word problems in this thing.
I
All
don't
right.
think I can do it.
You don't think you can do it?
No.
Selena, what do you, because you got to practice rounding.
Mm.
I will reassign rounding to the nearest 100 for you, and I need you to do that, okay? And then you got to go back and do your estimating the sums and differences. Athena, Charlotte, you're ready to go. That's all I got for you. All right. So, Selena, are you good with if I reassign rounding to the nearest 100? You need to do that, okay?
But nothing else.
Well, you're still, like, you're piling up work that you need to go back and do. So you're going to have to, like, double time down. You have to do estimating to the nearest sum. You have to go back and do that because I have to keep reassigning to you. So no, it's not that you just don't ever have to do it because we keep building on it. So you're going to, if you don't do it, then it's going to keep being an issue, right?
Selena, tell Miss Brenda if I could leave the meeting and go back to the work I was doing.
That's fine. We're ending it now anyway.
All right.
All right. Bye, Savannah. I'm going to tell her, Savannah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.